Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Hello? Hello? My OBS crashed. Okay, okay, YouTube's up. Okay, so I think it should be fine. What is everyone doing? Oh, we are all well. We are here on a Sunday afternoon to do some drawings. Let me just readjust. bit too big. I kind of made a mistake already. If this is my brow line, then why is the nose going up towards the forehead? Oh, Jack, what's going on? Sorry, I missed your message. Hope you are well. Yeah, I'm full of concentration. I got the chat panel on set to the leftmost part of my monitor, so I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, no. How are you doing, man? I was just saying, I made a mistake. This is my brow line, and for some reason I made my nose, drew the nose to be going towards the forehead. Yeah. Doing okay. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Ham Gamer, what's going on? What is going on? Oh, I've got two people now. I hope you are well as well. Today is going back to my roots. You know what I'm saying? Going back to drawing portraits. Hamburger. Yeah, so going back to drawing portraits. Mostly because I'm actually worried that I might forget how to draw portraits. I'll post the reference after the end of the stream. So if anyone else wants to get a copy of it, actually I can post the link to the reference on chat. So if anyone else here wants to draw along, you can. So Pixel's image photographer is Morteza Ganbari. Light on a woman in darkness. YouTube keeps giving me playback errors. I don't know I don't know how you would fix that, to be honest. Have you tried turning off and turning back on again? Is there anything else? In other news, I am editing the February drawing recap video. It's almost done. I just need to go over it one more time and then make any minor edits. I was thinking about maybe doing a thumbnail for that as well, although I kind of sort of don't want to because it's more work. You have missed much. Well, the good thing is, Jack, everything's on the channel. Everything's on the channel. So, if you want to catch up, you can. And to be honest, I don't think you really missed much at all. I am trying something. You know what? You're right. I'm gonna start rewatching the streams. Yes. Put him as a background playlist while you're doing something else. shuts out a little bit in the reference. Eyebrows. Where's that top point? So this bit, I need to shift over a little in that direction. Yeah, I could put that in black. So it's a bit too big. It's more Subtle. I think I need to shift it a bit to the left a little bit. Very kawaii desu. Oh. Eraser. I need a 5-minute stretch. It's probably best I need to save this before anything else. I don't remember what portrait number this is. Let me just check. When was the last time I did a portrait? 2025, I didn't do anything. In 2024, I still didn't do anything. 2023? '29. So okay, portrait. Damn, 29. Portrait 30. Maybe. Take your time. Oh, okay, Jack said it. So if Jack said it, I'm gonna take my time. Alright, you lot go have a stretch. What's going on, people? Bit of a people. I want to shift this up a little bit. Yeah. That's interesting. Ah, crud. I erased this hairline. Actually, I could get rid of this entirely. Thanks, Jack. I took that break of 5 minutes. And you know what? It wasn't long enough. I'm joking. I'm still not happy with this lip, to be honest. If I get rid of that. Let me zoom in a little bit on the reference. So it looks to be the size of this nostril. But how high is it? In this bit, you can only indicate with value. Man, this reference has a really smooth skin. Quite jealous. This model, I should say, not reference. Alright, so how do I want to proceed now? I think this might be a bit too high. I want to try lowering it down a little bit. Let's go. Okay. Should I do values now? I want to do values now. But should I make that a copy? Should I convert this reference image into grayscale and then do it? Let's actually make it a bit harder for myself. And actually, yeah, let's make the background back a darker value. Okay, so I'm gonna make this harder for myself by not converting the reference image into a grayscale image. So I'm gonna interpret this colored image reference and convert it to values. I know I'm gonna regret. I know I'm gonna hate this, but it's a challenge. Give me this brush so I don't have to push as hard. Oh dear, this is on the... Oh, okay, cool. So I'm just going to use layers for the background because I've only just realized the background value is quite dark. I forgot to put paint in the background. I didn't think I was gonna do value, but since I'm here, might as well. That is too bright. Still would like it a bit darker. Wait, do I want the that light to be dark? Or do I want Challenge 05? You know what, that could be the name of a playlist series. Challenge 05. I'm taking that. Anyway, what was I saying? Something about light values. Want a darker background value. A darker light lit value. Oh, I could just do that. That doesn't look too bad, to be honest. Okay, let's merge. Because we merge boys today. Wait, is that right? No, problem is I don't really know how to interpret values straight from color. Confuses me. Let's put in this mid white sun. No, I got a backup copy of this image. So if I mess up, which I'm pretty sure I inevitably will, I can just revert back to the original sketch. Point is, I'm committed now. I'm committing to the bit. I've committed to the bit. There's no going back. Challenge 05. Let's go! I kind of want navigation and overview at the same time. Oh yeah, maybe I should just do the darkest areas first. That's how I did it with the bust, right? So just do focus on your dark values first. Everything else should fall into place later. I'm squinting, mate. I'm squinting. Squinting like I've never squinted before. Huh? Sir Five Stash. Sorry, for Sir Stash. Ah, how are you doing on this fine day, Sir Stash? Apologies if I've only just read your message now. Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm here doing a portrait study. I was supposed to do a some kind of figure drawing, but I ended up doing portrait because I got worried about not doing these for a long time, and worried that I might have lost my edge in the portrait drawing game. Fine art. There's a fine art you got there. Thank you very much for your kind words. You're too kind, sir. You got a very handsome mustache, if I may say. Now, should I just do the shirt all in one value? I'm beginning to regret painting it in the background and merging it as one layer, because what I would have done is switch to the eraser, but now I can't do that because it's going to erase the background. So I have to select the paint, background paint. It's a minor thing, but it's enough to annoy me because it's not how I usually work. That is the challenge of 5. The challenge of 5 demands that you come on. See there. When else can I see dark? Dark values on the back of the hair. Squinting for dear life here. My eyes are starting to the muscles over my eyes are starting to ache. So can you talk about the study? Is it good for beginners to do? It's a study for myself. I'm not sure if it's... I mean, the only way to know if it's good for beginners is to try it out yourself. I want to work on my shading too. If you're absolute beginner and you want to learn how to do shading, I guess the first thing I would suggest doing is to do a basic forms on so like do it on a ball, then a cube, and then try to see if you could let me show you. So let's say you've probably seen this exercise many a times, but imagine this is a sphere and the light is coming in this direction. This isn't a tutorial by the way, because I'm not really that good at teaching. I can recommend someone. So if the light's coming down this way, then we know that the light is going to cast a shadow here. Well, it's going to do a form shadow, and it's going to do a cast shadow, right? And this is probably your darkest value here, and then it should match the same on your core shadow, and then the rest of it is just midtone, and you don't really touch your light area other than adding midtone between the terminator, which is your core shadow, into the light area. Now this is an in-depth tutorial, I'm aware. I'm only mentioning this because it's as a suggestion of a starting point. So you want to get into thinking of how the light would interact a 3D object. Spheres, you also want to do a similar thing with cubes. Probably start out with doing cubes. This is a bad cube, but because the reason being is because you don't need to worry about this transitionary bit, because cubes, you know, the faces of a cube is solid. It's either one particular value or not, and then you move on to doing a sphere, and then from a sphere you can maybe go into doing a cylinder, because cylinders are quite difficult actually. If you could do that, you can probably mix and match this in that you can try doing a round edged cube. Maybe not a full cube, but assuming that this plane is this and this is a rounded edge, you can try doing shading in the transition thing on the edge of a cube. And then once you could do that, you could either I think you should be good to then tackle on doing head portraits, assuming you know how to draw portrait heads. I have to understand every transition for every shape, or do I just eyeball it? In my opinion, don't try to memorize every single one before actually doing it on a portrait. I think you learn better if you actually do a portrait and do it. Just know enough so that you understand how the values transitions on a curved edge, and then once you start on a portrait, you just pick up certain things, whether it looks good or not, mostly through trial and error. Trial and error is your best teacher. Now, as an extra resource, I suggest you look into. So I relatively recently bought Secrets of Shading by Steven Zapata. I got it through his Gumroad, and so the introductory video is really good. I think if you pass his explanation of tools, I think it might be video 2 where he talks about how light interacts. That's really good. If you go onto his YouTube channel, type in Steven Zapata sphere exercise. If you watch that would give an explanation on how to do this exercise, and he gives a better explanation than what I've done. And I think he also has another video on YouTube where he demonstrates how you can do this exercise on a cylindrical shape. So yeah, he's one that I think, in my opinion, has a better explanation on how to apply value shading. Oh, I guess one other thing. I'm a bit pedantic to this, so forgive me if I'm being very specific, but I think we need to clarify what I mean by value and shading. Okay? Value is basically how, in my opinion, light behaves. Wait, that's not a torch. Okay, pretend this is a torch. Is how light behaves on a 3D form, right? It's about which plane is most slit and which plane is least lit. So from that, we can then, that basically means this, assuming, actually no, that's technically not correct. So this is like the dark value because it's not facing towards the light source. This is brighter value because it's facing the light source, and this side we'll assume is the mid-tone. It's in between the dark value and the light value, so we'll use this as a mid-tone value, right? And then through learning values, learn things like core shadows, which usually come up when you're drawing cylindrical or shapes that have a curve to them. So the core value or core shadow, that's your dark part of the shadow, and then this is your mid-tone. So in the cube, this bit here is our mid-tone. Technically this could, I guess, would also be a mid-tone because it's not fully black. And then also within shapes, within 3D shapes that have curves, you get introduced to concepts like reflected light. Oh, there's actually one other thing I forgot. So you also, when it comes to value, you also learn about cast shadows. So because this is a 3D shape, it exists on a 3D plane. We also need to understand how the light interacts with this form, leaving a cast shadow. This isn't accurate. There is a specific method to do doing this, but I'm not going to go over it right now. And if this were a sphere was on a flat plane, this would also have leave a cast shadow. And you learn cast shadows is probably the darkest value. Sometimes you can get away with using the same core value on the sphere. Wait. And then the more you go into values, you also learn things like ambient occlusion. This is basically where this is the darkest areas where the light can't get into. Alright, so this is values. Values, why did I go on this tangent? Because I want to make a distinction between values and shading, in my opinion. So values is about understanding how light interacts with forms. Shading, in my opinion, is more sort of your brush technique, and that's to do basically edges. So the more, if we go back to what I was doing, this is a sketch. If you were to look in real life, you don't see 2D lines. You probably heard this loads of times. Instead you see edges, which is what I'm about to do. And why do we go into doing edges? Because edges helps us define or portray the light in its behavior on 3D shapes a lot better than line. And you probably must have seen or heard, you got like straight edge, hard edge, you have firm edges. I don't really have a brush to demonstrate firm edge. Let's say, you see, let's assume this is a firm edge, and you got really soft edge. I don't know if I can do that. Let's use an airbrush. Soft edge. And then you got lost edges, which is when you blend it so much that you can't tell where the edge line actually starts or begins. So this is my understanding. I should also add, this is my opinion and my understanding of what values are and what shading is. And the reason I bring that up is because when I started learning, I was so confused, because whenever I wanted to talk about what I understood now as values, people were conflating that to be shading. And then sometimes when I want to know about what I now know as brush edge work, people say that conflate that to be values. The two are linked, don't get me wrong, because you use shading to help define your values. But in my opinion, if you were to say which is more important to learn, your values, because if you understand how light interacts with objects, you can better define. Like, I've just used straight edge, yeah. But you can even on a sphere, which you kind of need to use like soft edges and to define the transition. But even with a straight edge, you can actually tell that this is a rounded object, because there's the core shadow. This is the mid-tone. I didn't do any reflected light, but if I did, it would be there. So if you needed to focus on something first, value work, and then look into okay, this says shading, but edges. Oh. There you go. Do I have to understand everything? No, you don't. Oh yeah, I was about that. was about to buy that yesterday. I love your drawings. Thank you, Hot Lunch. I love you. Platonically. If you're into that. Yeah, that makes sense. I see now. So I use shading to define the form and value to define the effect of light on the objects. Yes. But value is probably more important to understand if you want to draw 3D objects and 2D objects. But again, I'm just saying it again. That's my understanding. I kind of want to do something else now. I can't focus on doing one thing for a long period of time. Come on, you can do it. I know I can do it, but I just don't want to do it. Okay, how would I do the value of this hair though? That is the question. Have I done my dark shapes? Kinda, and I haven't done every single one of them because most of them is quite small shapes. Small shapes I don't think it really justifies going into. So I guess what I can now do is begin to add mid-tone. Oops, let's use this value there. The trouble is that there's a really grey cyan looking mid-tone. I don't know how to interpret, oh pardon me, interpret that. How do I study anatomy? What I'm doing currently is drawing every muscle from every angle and in different poses. I'm struggling with that, I won't lie to you, but I think that's one way of going about it. What I'm trying to do now is I'm not gonna be able to memorize every single muscle and memorize how they're gonna be or how they're orientated in different poses. Excuse me. What I tried doing was I learned a mannequin style, either Loomis or Riley. So I tried learning a mannequin abstraction, and you know how I don't know, like this. Actually, yeah, you know what? Let's actually go on to a different sketch. I can do this later. Let's say, let's find a pose actually, while also memorizing the names. I'll also do that too. Mostly because I think it's quite fun learning the names. Let's find a pose. What kind of pose do you want? Okay, let's do something simple, right? We're not gonna do the full body. Instead, we're gonna do half a body. Actually, let's see if I can share this. Yeah, I can share this. This is a picture by Joshua Roberts. It's on Pexels, titled "Portrait of a Young Man in a Black T-shirt in Park." Okay, we're gonna draw this. And should I learn it like one at a time, e.g. part, torso, or do I learn everything at once? A shrimp pose. I don't know what a shrimp pose is. Wait, is this the fetal position? Well, I'm not gonna do that because it's a so one of the things I struggle with when it comes to drawing poses is when the model is scrunched up or crouched, or those type of poses are really hard for me. Okay, we're gonna do that pose that I've just linked. It's gonna be half the body. So what I do is I start off doing the head. Now I know some people like to start with the chest or shoulders, but when I started learning drawing, I started drawing heads, so I'm just so used to with starting from the head. So I'm just gonna quickly. This is probably not gonna be pinpoint accurate. So I start off with drawing a Riley head. You could do it with the Loomis head. Technically, I'm doing Loomis because I'm not gonna do the full face details. So technically speaking, I'm doing Loomis. So assume Loomis. And actually, there's also another. Okay, I'm not gonna go on because it's gonna be another waffle. But I'd also have to ask: are you trying to draw this from imagination, or are you doing it from a? Are you doing a copy off of a reference? Because I'm technically doing a copy. Because I could go about drawing this in a different way, but for now, let's assume I'm gonna use a Riley abstraction. So I draw the head, and then from there, I know that there's a muscle that connects from somewhere like below the ear to the empty point of your neck, which I think it's called the manubrium, and that muscle is called the sternocleidomastoid. I know it goes like that, and then from that point I drew the clavicle as one sweeping shape. Yeah, so far so good. I just drew the head and the clavicle. Now I am gonna do a little bit of Riley body abstraction. So the way he does it is he draws a triangle. Well, actually no, first he then makes a line for the spine, and I think this might not be. The spine would technically be one head high, 1.5 head high. Wait, am I right? Is that correct? Why am I saying 1.5 head high? That's for the rib cage. Yeah. So if I do this, I'm basically taking the size of his head. That's one head. Somewhere here. So I'm saying from this point to that point is his rib cage. But this line here is going to be slightly longer because I'm going to also include his pelvis. So I then draw a second line. I think it's gonna be somewhere here. Now, because it's a male character, and I'm gonna slightly stereotype more masculine looking guys typically have hips that are either the same size as the shoulder or smaller. You do you. So, and then from the shoulders, I do a triangle down. And then from the manubrium, I go down towards his, the size of his hips. I think it's called the ACES. Anterior superior iliac spine or spike, one of the two. Okay, and then at this point, like this alone should give you a general intuitive sense of how this person is standing, whether they're twisting. I say intuitive sense. I've been trying to draw poses since the beginning of this year, so I don't know whether it's correct. Although, from that point, I guess I would then roughly mark out his hands. Foreshortening is a pain in the backside for me as well, so yeah. What's that thing? Mogging is this reference guy is mogging us, I guess. So I then do the what do you call it? The rib cage and pelvis. Now I'm gonna introduce something different here, in that I'm gonna divide, and this is actually, yeah, another person I want you to be aware of. There's a person on YouTube, Lines Sensei. This guy has a really good playlist on how to draw the human anatomy. I recommend you go and check him out. It's free. It's heavily stylized, so it's more geared towards the anime style. If that's what you want, even better. But I think it's quite useful to pick and choose different ideas from different people. Anyway, so from this guy, he did a thing where he divided the spine in half, right? And then he did something else as well, but I completely forgot. Oh yeah, he divided it in half, and then he divided it in thirds. So, and the reason being, I bring this up is because there's a bit where there's a gap that connects the waist. Sorry, that connects the waist with the rib cage and hips. Now, having done that, I'm beginning to think, have I made the hips too? Is learning more realistic help with style? The argument for learning realistic is that it gives you a good base. Because anime is already stylized as it is, which means, and the theory being is that if you then want to go from an anime style to a more realistic style, you're gonna be doing some habits that would be more appropriate for an anime style that would look a bit weird when you try to do it on a realistic, when you're trying to do a realistic style. Whereas if you do it from a realistic style, you could then sort of go into different. You can then make different stylistic choices, but it's up to you. And let's say you don't have a particular style. Hey, you know how to do realism, and people, non-artists even can understand that. Anyway, so I went from Riley. I then added the rib cage and hips. The Riley kind of gives us an indication of where the one of our back muscles will be, the latissimus dorsi. And then where do I do? Where do I go from here? I did mention that I'm still learning how to do this. At this point, you would then need, I suppose, then they would say just put in your 3D cylinders. Right. You then put in your forms. Again, foreshortening is annoying. Someone recommended to me that I should draw a lot of poses and I shouldn't draw full art so I can maximize my pose drawing skill. I don't know how to. I don't know what you would I would respond to that, but I imagine they saying that when they said that they're probably assuming you're already someone that knows how to draw. Let me just quickly finish this. And then for hands, I just put in the blocks. And this is, apologies if you can hear that background noise. It's from outside. I can't do anything about that. I think I've got the window open though. Okay, let's put in his neck muscles. So I kind of like to put in a cylinder for his neck. Some indication of his traps. You're not gonna see it, but he has delts as well. So why did I do this? Why am I doing this? Okay, so I guess how do you go about doing poses? So I guess how my process went was I did a Riley first. I did a stickman Riley mannequin, right? Or abstraction. I then put in the main masses. The main masses being the head, rib cage, pelvis, in this case. I then do the, I guess I call it ancillary forms, being in this case the arms and the hands. And then after that, I would then look to do like define the muscles. So that would be like what I just did with the traps, the trapezius, something to do with the deltoids, and now I guess I'm doing the pectoralis. Then the lats. The connective tissue, the connective muscle between the rib cage and the pelvis. I think it's called the obliques. his crotch. I'm not being funny, but yeah. But like if that kind of helps a little bit. I'm a straight guy. Anyway, because it then lets you put in your the legs, and then from one of the aces point, if you were to draw the leg, if this was a full body figure and you from one of the aces point and you had a cylinder here for one of the legs, you could do the sternocleidomastoid. No, not sternocleidomastoid. It's the sartorius that goes from your aces point, wraps around your leg to the side of your knee, your patella, and that sort of divides your leg into these two muscle groups. And then I suppose, like, you don't want, unless you're drawing a bodybuilder, I don't think you really need to define every single muscle. I mean, not everyone has low body fat percentage, you know. But if you want, I guess you can. And you got like stuff like your rectus femoris, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, your patella, and then that goes down there. I don't know what the muscles, connective muscles that connects your inner leg to the base of the pelvis. I don't know that. But yeah, I just want to draw cartoons. That's what I wanted to do when I was small. Let's draw cartoons, man. Cartoons is hard, actually. Talking about, what if I live in a world where everyone is a Giga Chad? Then no one's a Giga Chad. No one can be a Giga Chad if everyone's a Giga Chad. So yeah, cartoons. So that going back to what was it Stash that said drawing realistic? So where do I want to go with that? How do you go from drawing realism to drawing cartoons? Assume that this is a realistic, because I can't be bothered now. When you go to draw cartoons is basically realism, but you're not drawing everything. Yeah, basically. I used to draw like this. I remember back when I was in the we call it infancy in the UK. It might be garden or I don't know, pre-elementary in other parts of the world. But I remember drawing drawing like that. Hui, hui. And then you draw the legs. And when you draw the hands, if you want to draw the fingers, you just do the zigzags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for whatever reason, this is how I drew hair. Big hair. What if I live in a world where everyone, yeah. I think you need to use the 3 size rule or something. There's a 3 size rule. What? Yeah, it's realism without the extra steps. I don't know, man. Actually, hold on. Do I have I did this. This is kind of like a cartoon, yeah. But like, when you're doing cartoons is stylized. It's probably even more stylized than anime, if I'm being honest. Because you could use any random shape and you can still somehow make it look like a character. Whereas anime, you know, anime kind of has to make it recognizable, but it still follows. What? You know what? Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking out my ass here. Can you make him buff? No. I don't want to make him buff. Why don't you use him as a ping on the streams? I do. Well, not that one. That one I only just recently finished. Or are you talking about the chicken thing? Wait. There's an app called Weirdo Tube. It was made for that chicken. I know what you're talking. I think I know what you're talking about. I installed it, and then when I tried figuring out how to put in an avatar, I didn't. I gave up. I'll look at it again at some point. But also, must be because I didn't have that drawing. I didn't have anything I could use, so yeah, I'll give it another look. I don't know. Look, his. Oh crud! What did I just do? My masterpiece. You stand here. Is this a cartoon enough for you? Actually, where do do birds have nostrils? Do birds have nostrils? Jockey. You sit here. Oh no, my hand! Can you can reactive? Can you can I can't read. You can just use reactive on Google, but you need Discord. I don't want to use Discord. Do birds nostrils? Yes, birds have nostrils, also known as nares, located at the base of the beaks. Oh, birds do have nostrils. They're called nares. Why am I spending this this long on a freaking chicken? What are you guys making me do? I think they have coffee. Huh? And another habit about this, and this is more of a personal thing I've noticed. I tend to draw the head a bit too big, so don't be afraid to change something if you need to change it. There you go. Kind of, that looks better now. This isn't like, if you need to do multiple sketches, yeah, go ahead and do multiple sketches. Because the more you keep doing these sorts of things, you eventually then develop a pattern and habits, and then eventually you can do these sorts of things without without going through like an like a mannequin step. Can you do a Markiplier impression? No, I can't. I don't watch Markiplier. Not that I have anything against him. I just don't watch Markiplier, so I don't know what he does. I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm not a YouTuber. I just want to be an artist. Okay, let's go back to drawing portraits, okay? Actually, how long has it been? Oh, it's almost 2 hours. Oh, your stream is going to my study playlists. Don't put me in a study playlist. Put me in a background noise playlist. There's no. What is there to study from me? Nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Well, thank you. I'm humbled. Oh. Marky 05. I used to watch Mark years ago. Does he still stream? I know who he is. I just don't watch his content as much as other people. But does he still stream? I mean, does he still do videos? Yeah, he still does. That's good to hear, man. That's good to hear. He's like one of the old. Was he? He was around when I was watching YouTube, I think. You should have a small streamers like him in the future. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the small streamers. Look out for the the Markipliers and the PewDiePies. You gotta support them. You gotta small streamers like us need to stick together. Get the hell out of here. Can you imagine if I went, hey, Markiplier, or hey, PewDiePie, I see you're an up and coming YouTuber. You wanna do a collab? And they were like, who the hell is this guy? Should I do an accurate study of the clothing? I think not, because life is too short to take a photographic picture. Supporting the young talent, you know. I think they would be flattered if you call them a young talent. Supporting the youth. Big up the youth, you know what I'm saying? The youth. Actually, yeah, wait. So one of the things that the Steven Zapata video said, just put in the value, and then you can erase. You can make it lighter when you need a lighter tone. And I'm working digitally as well, so not like, I mean, I'm trying to avoid using Control Z, but it doesn't really matter if I don't have to worry about ruining the paper as much, because it's all digital. It's all digital, you know. And I think some correction is needed on this bit. Suppose I did actually do that to promote your channel. If they did mention it, I would absolutely be grateful. However, and I'm saying this for my own ego, I would prefer that they did not. I don't have anything against them. I kinda like it. I kinda would rather want people to find my channel by themselves, see my content, and be like, you know what, I like your content. And you know, I also want to draw. I also want to draw and do portraits, and you know, that's what I'm after. Again, I have nothing against those. I have nothing against PewDiePie or Markiplier. It's a multiplayer drawing website with lawyers. Magma. No, I've heard. What's the other one? Where you get a group of you guys together. One of them gets a prompt. You draw. One of you draws, and then gets passed on to the next person, and then the other person has to guess what the first person drew, and then draw that, and then it continues on. I heard about that one. Something telephone. Gartic telephone. Yeah, just like that stash guy over here. Why do you guys have a number 1 and number 3, by the way? I've been meaning to ask, but I was too afraid to ask. Again, squinting my eyes. Ooh. YouTube is just random. Oh, you guys are my fans. Holy crap, there's a guy. Number 4 fan. Fuck my life, Oasis. I think this value is a bit too bright, but it needs to be bright. It has to be bright. Ah, XP ranking. You get more XP the more comment. At this point, I'm just guessing the values now, so I'm not sure what, like, I'm not 100% sure whether it's accurate or not, but I can correct it later if I feel that it needs some adjusting. So, because we're dealing with a colored light, I'm not sure how the color affects the value. If it was a, which is what I usually do, is I take the reference, convert it to black and white image, and then work from there, because then it's just a matter of copying the dark and light. As we are challenging ourselves as part of the visit. Wait, what was it called again? Challenge 05. As part of the Challenge 05 challenge, decided that to be the best artist that no one ever was, to art them all, is my test. Something is my cause. I decided I'm going to do a value study based on a reference without converting it to black and white. Have you considered breathing? Air is overrated. Yes, no. I considered not breathing. What ended up, and I was doing it so well, but what ended up happening was that I passed out. And yeah, and then I started breathing. So don't listen to me. I did not stop breathing. I didn't hold my breath. One of these days I'm gonna say something messed up. One of these days I'm gonna say something messed up and I'm gonna get my channel moderated, banned or something. So you guys better not do something. You guys better not freaking, I don't know what's the word, gaslight me into saying something that I'm gonna regret. Let's keep it meme friendly, whatever that means. I quit breathing 3 hours ago. You're Sir Stash. With a stash like yours, you can do anything. Oh, did you guys see the new Pokemon game? Waves and water. I don't remember what it was called. Waves and water. What do you guys think of it? Hello, Ultra Shell. Welcome back. Привет! See, I know Russian. I forgot to say hi in Korean though. 감사합니다. I can speak. I know some Russian words. I can't read it. You guys are making me translate. Привет. Yeah, so that's what it looks like. Can you draw the most glorious stash, kind sir? Eventually. I can't do it right now. I need to focus. Focus. I'll draw a stash on her if it gets to somewhere I like. I'm actually feeling hungry right now. I'm wondering if it gives players the option to have multiple save files. Nah, it's not. From what I've read. Oh wait, no wait, hold on. I'm confusing it for. So they're doing the re-release of Pokemon Leaf Green and Fire Red, and then there's the the new one, Wave and Water, or something or other. So I'm confusing it for Fire. So the re-release, the remake or re-release of Fire Red and Leaf Green, it's not. It's just gonna. It's literally just. I think it's just literally just a ROM of the old game. I am good, Chell. Thank you for asking. How are you? I hope you are safe. I'm actually quite hungry as well. We are here. Well, I'm just here doing a portrait sketch. Instead of doing a figure sketch. Okay, that's about those. It's just the same games. It's the same games, but arguably it's probably the better games. There's a grey mid-tone at the top of the head. So I guess I could just go like that, yeah? Let's color it, paste all that in one tone. And I can do the details later. I think this might be a bit too bright. Either I need to put this bright on here. I'm safe. Although YouTube still works like that's unfortunate. As long as you're safe, that's all that matters. Okay, we have to remember there's always an ugly phase, and I'm right straight back bang in the middle of that phase where it just looks weird, the values, it doesn't make sense, the lines are everywhere, I don't make sense, but we must constantly we must persevere, I should say. We must persevere. Stash, I don't understand what that means. Well, I guess it's something nice. Oh, visitor, you're so handsome. Oh, thank you. If it don't matter to me, I haven't been in poker mood since the 5th generation. What was the 5th generation? 3rd generation is Ruby and Sapphire. What came after that? Diamond and Pearl, and after that, Black and White. I think I should just do the entire back in one mid-tone value. Let's see how it goes. Oh, that was a bad idea. Pardon me. Okay. This looks okay. The first gen was black and white. Lol. Something nice, he says. Don't worry, I just wrote the B-movie script. So it tells me the B-movie script is a bit longer than what you've just read. Alright, you guys. Let me see, what is it you're saying? Oh, Ruski. We don't know who We don't know who We don't know who that guy is. Okay, chat. What? At this point, I'm gonna have to change the general direction of this channel, but I can write Korean. I'm gonna make a language YouTube channel. I'm not. We'll call it Language 05. I don't know where I was going with that. This is too straight. Challenger 05 and Language 05. The Challenger 05 or Challenge 05? It's one of those two. Okay, just add some more and then I'm gonna stream for maybe another 15 minutes and then I'm gonna head off. Next week is gonna be around the same time, so UK time. I'm gonna try to do it at 1 o'clock. It might be a case I might be an hour later after that as well. So if anyone else wants to pop in, mark it in your calendars, I guess. To be honest, it's actually quite a milestone. This is probably the most people I've had chatting as well. Yeah, boy. Oh yeah, I guess I should start detailing in the eyes. can't really make out what I'm seeing. Is the eye lighter than the rest of the face because of the light? Oh, yeah. It's because the eye area is the most slit in this reference image I'm using. I just put down a lighter value down because I didn't know. I just needed something to. I just needed something there to separate my lights from shadows. And I think this might be a bit too bright. I'm not sure. I'm figuring out as I go along. And also a darker plane value. What's this area called? Globular? Globular? I think I might need. What does it look like if I use Blender? Wait, police car. Wait, what happened? Why are you using sirens? What did I do wrong? Do I need to start checking out evidence or something? What? I don't like realism because of skin. It's really hard to make texture. Ah. It's doable. There are a few tricks I've seen. Some... Actually, can I do that now? You make a good point. One trick is to apply a noise layer or a noise filter. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know if you can see on your stream, but is it on the map? Oh no. Okay, let me just duplicate that. So, filter, map. Sorry, filter, other, random noise. I just want a bunch of pixels. We'll wait until the thing I've heard that the noise glitters more than the rest of the face. If I set that to overlay, I can then lower the opacity. Or maybe I should have turned that into black and white first. Let's do that. Change the hue, saturation. Yeah, lower the saturation a bit. Set that to overlay. Put it on a lower opacity. And then, if I want, I could just either erase out the areas I don't want or use a what do you call it? A masking layer. You could do that. Or one other thing that I've only seen one other artist do, but I imagine it's because he's crazy, is to manually paint in the pores and texture. He doesn't do it often though. I think I only seen one picture of his. I can't remember what it was though. And I think it might be not safe for work, so I don't want to link it here in case I get sirens of myself. Well, it was intense bright white. The overview. Still not happy with how the lips came out. can't hear you. My VPN died. I can't hear you, but have a good evening or night. Take care of yourself, Chef. You're going. If I suddenly go quiet, it's not because my microphone gone out. I just gone really quiet and really focusing, I guess. But yeah, take care. Have a good evening or day or afternoon. No. Actually, I need to start heading out right now, so I'm gonna leave it here for today. We did quite a lot. Yeah, we did quite a lot. I'm gonna leave it here. I'm gonna continue working on this later on another stream. I think the next stream I'm gonna start doing poses, more poses, and then in the second half of that next stream I'll probably do work on this. Yeah, no, I'm quite pleased where this is currently going. I imagine that as soon as I close this and then reload it up, I'm gonna see all the mistakes. Can I do that now? It's not too bad. I mean, there's still some work that needs to be done, particularly I think around the jaw area. We're just gonna save it here. We did, I guess, half of a pose. There's some cartoons. Talked about some value and shading. Anyway, just gonna leave it here. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Hope you have a good evening, morning, afternoon. Something else as well. Take care. Have a nice evening. Bye. Bye. Bye.